What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Right now, WWE has published an article about one of the main events at WrestleMania. Of course, it's going to be the opening match, or if you see a cash in, WWE will most likely wait until later in the night. So, I got to say a quick thing that this video will not focus that much on the match and the result. It will not focus that much on Ziggler cashing in. It will focus mostly on the storyline going to WrestleMania. So right now they have the perfect build-up. They have the perfect build-up before Swagger and the Rio even have faced each other or been in the ring at the same time. You see, Swagger got pushed since he came back as the real American. He came back and said that he's changed and all that kind of stuff. He brought in subculture and he made himself noticed. He got noticed by being semi-racist and things like that, and really just hating on immigration. Subculture now had on every single show uh, had at least one or two promos about immigration, about those issues in America. And I really think we're not going to see him talk that much more about it. I think we'll most likely there is a reason why he has this YouTube channel. I think the YouTube channel is going to be the way we see subculture. Maybe they go on to talk about this immigration thing a few more weeks. Maybe they do it at Mania too. But I don't see subculture talk like that all the time. I just think this was to get the guy to notice, and that was very good of the WWE. So Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger, I don't think that faced each other before uh, on like a big deal. Of course, they have had two matches that I can remember. Um, those matches were on SmackDown, and it was I think when Alberto Del Rio was kind of starting as to build, become a big deal, was starting where he was feuding with Mysterio and stuff like that. He had a match with Swagger, and then he also had a match with Swagger a few months later, but nothing really memorable. I don't think they're going to bring up the fact that they faced each other before because those matches were like 4 minutes. But back to the subject. We are not really sure how they are going to play together. Alberto Rio is right now having a lot of problems in the ring because of who because of his wrestling style. As you saw on Raw, he had an amazing match with Dolph Ziggler because Dolph Ziggler made him look great. But you see, Alberto Rio is not that good uh, when it comes to wrestle um, normal wrestlers. That's like maybe some of them are real stiff. Maybe some are not used to do all these moves. Let's say because there is a difference between facing like there's a difference between facing Chris Jericho to facing a Randy Orton to facing Brodus Clay and things like that. There is a and Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal and Michael McDowell. They're every wrestler is not the same. They always bring something unique to the table. They always bring a problem. Some wrestlers don't have a big problem. That's very noticeable. But unlike a guy like Sin Cara, who you see just by his music, as you know, it's going to be an awful match and he's going to botch 90% of his moves. So I'm not really sure how they're going to be doing this Mania thing. Hopefully, this was planned out good. That Swagger and Del Rio had trained a little bit together because the match at Mania has to be good for SmackDown to survive. This storyline will most likely be um, very edgy. We Mania always has that one storyline that's a little over the top. It's not that peachy. Last year it was Jericho versus CM Punk, where brought in like the family were full of alcoholics, and CM Punk was going to be doing drugs, and uh, Jericho was doing all this just to lead into depression and things like that. And they brought in a lot of things like with since being a hooker and anything like that. Um, Now they're bringing out another problem in today's society. There, well, let's talk about problem. Um, and many people feel this way about this subject, and I really think if this storyline is going, um, if they have this storyline like be promoted on Raw, but it should not be a huge Raw thing. What I'm afraid of is to see Swagger lose a lot before Mania, or their them having Seb Coulter do all the mic work for Swagger. Because if they do that, this rivalry is not going to be good. And if they have Seb Coulter having promos against Del Rio, it will feel weird. That's what I think is going to happen in the upcoming weeks. And is that going to hurt the storyline? Most likely not that much. Seb Coulter is very good on the mic, but it got to have a lot of swagger too. They can't build up a manager so he looks more incredible than a wrestler in the ring. Hopefully Swagger gets some more mic time, but to establish that he Jack Swagger is a real American, they had to have this Seb Coulter the first weeks. Uh, what I really think is going to be a factor in this storyline is also Dolph Ziggler. As I wasn't going to talk that much about him, but there is a huge possibility that Dolph Ziggler cashes in. This will lead to a triple threat match, and this would actually be a very solid match. But I see the two world title matches be triple threat matches. Actually, no. I I think if they go with Undertaker Punk, something I doubt because there is too short time to build it up. Um, but if they went for it, it would be easier for the SmackDown match to be that. But yeah, triple threat match. But that doesn't say that they can't have a fatal four way. But here's the thing: the title picture should only be surrounded by Swagger and Del Rio. I'm just bringing in Ziggler because there is a huge possibility that he will cash in right before Mania. Would that be a bad thing? No, it would not be a bad thing if you look at it from the point with Swagger versus Ziggler. We will most likely see a face turn by Swagger after Mania. Like Seb Coulter turns on him or something like that. And Seb Coulter, if they build him up to be a bigger heel than Swagger, that will be an easy process. How you can do that is Swagger goes, talks about a few, talks about different things. They're not that really um, the same stuff as Seb Culture. Maybe it's Swagger doesn't need to be an asshole or something like that, an ass kisser and anything like that. He doesn't need to be like he was when he first won the world title to get noticed, to have a good character. The only thing he has to do is talk about how he's going to destroy their Rio and how Seb Culture and him is going to create the new America. And that's everything he has to do. I see Ziggler cashing in either at Mania, the night after WrestleMania, or actually waiting to Extreme Rules. I think it's going to be a huge event when it happens. I don't see Ziggler like going on the tapings for tonight's SmackDown for this Friday's SmackDown episode and just cash it in Like it will make sense at all. One thing I really hope is Ricardo Rodriguez in some sort of way gets taken out. I don't want to see Ricardo Rodriguez in this storyline. I want to see Jack Swagger hurt him so badly that Del Rio gets more over as a face. Swagger gets uh, a lot more people hating on him. What the fuck is wrong with my voice? Because I don't think it will fit to have the world heavy champion when he's a face that he has a manager. It doesn't fit. Of course, the only reason why Del Rio gets a positive reaction is because of Ricardo Rodriguez. But still, Ricardo Rodriguez fits when he is a heel, not when he's a face. Uh, so Ricardo Rodriguez, I don't see him turning heel. I think he's going to be Del Rio. Will it happen? When will it happen? Not really sure. I think it's going to be like Ricardo in some sort of way interfere in a match and try to help the Rio, and he just fucks things up. The Rio gets upset, and they just go away from each other. That's how I say. But I don't think they have to turn the Rio heel for him to not have Ricardo as a manager or have Ricardo turn heel. It wouldn't fit. I think they need to be in some sort of way coming back together, like Ricardo helping him out in 2014, early 2014, and they get back together and are a good heel combination. But that's beyond the point. I think this match is going to have a very entertaining build up, a lot better than the Rock versus John Cena match. If they bring in CM Punk, it's going to be good. But right now, as the way they are talking and the way they are having segments, I see the build up to WrestleMania when it comes to The Rock versus John Cena to be very shitty if they don't turn one of them heel. Last year was different because it was like I'm gonna prove something, and they had one match, and then The Rock is like Cena is the greatest of all time under me, and Bruno Sammartino and Stone Cold, and it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up. I don't find any entertainment in The Rock right now. I don't think he's very good on the mic. Um, as of now, he only has some storytelling, and then he says he swears a little, and then boom, if you smell what the Rock is cooking, and finally I'm back in this town, and then I'm back in this town, and then I'm back in this town, and then I have sunglasses, but then I don't have sunglasses because it's stupid or inside or something like that. It's just boring. It's boring. Um, so I really hope CM Punk comes into the mix, because if he comes into the mix, it's going to get entertaining. Because without CM Punk right now, I don't see it to be a good build-up. It can be an amazing build-up, and I can be wrong, but as it looks like right now, they're going to talk about each other like, we are the best, and I have so much respect for you, and I can't wait for a rematch. That's not main event caliber. That's not the main event like Edge versus The Undertaker. That's not the main event like Randy Orton versus Triple H. Or yeah, that's just how it is. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.